That means a prophecy that in the future our people are going to begin to lack the responsibility of knowing, of learning, and applying it in their lives properly. The greatest danger, they tell us, in learning the traditional teachings of our Diné. As I was growing up, I had a lot of opportunities to attend ceremonies and that. And during the ceremonies, when they're taking a break and taking food or some other reason that they've kind of put the paraphernalia for the conducting the ceremony over here to the side for a moment, and everybody's taking a break, they have that time where they have a lot of discussion on things that may be of interest to all of the families and the people, relatives that are there. And I've had the opportunity to listen to things that they were told when they were growing up. Many of these people are elderly, but when they were growing up, the old people said, there will come a time when this will happen. There will become a time when you will cut your hair, and there will be a time when you will begin to lose your language and the way that things are supposed to be done. That means you'll no longer have the Navajo knot or the Navajo bun. And also, that means you will be losing your language. And also that which means all of the things that are traditional teachings and that will be lost and will be ignored. And those are the things that our people are cautioned to be aware of in the future times. When teachings are given among our Diné to any of the younger people by the elders, they always encourage us to listen. And they tell us that there's a word, that is a word that has so many different applications in different ways. That means that when you are a person that is willing to learn something from what is shared with you, that you take serious the opportunity to learn. The word is sometimes applied to the adult. Tahoyani is the way that it is said. Tahoyani means the one that is an adult and can supervise young people. And then the teaching, as it's first given, is usually to the person taking care of the livestock or the sheep. It means to care for the sheep. The word Ba'ahulia, which would mean you be the thinker for the livestock. Bahuneya would be the other way to say it, but they say it in most cases. Ba'ahulia, which means Bahuneya. And so the teaching of Hujiyango is to say that learn the things that you need to know so that you can make a life for yourself. And so when you're going to school and you are sitting in a setting where you're to learn something, the old people always used to encourage us, that means you will absorb the things that you need to know so you can become an adult. That takes time, that takes effort to learn. And learn as much as you can about all types of situations in life. And the preparation for this particular subject, we had the opportunity to speak with a lot of different elder people that have heard these lessons about Wajiyango, Tahoyani. And it is very important that they say that that is something that is given to everybody throughout their life. We've been trying to determine what would be a good translation. And we talked with the other people, and they always express the idea that the real danger to the Diné is probably not learning. And it is that it can affect their lives in a negative way. And so the teaching is that that means the learning and that and to becoming a person that can take care of themselves and gain knowledge is all up to you. Is what it comes down to. But when you're very young and they tell you, to take care of the sheep, that means you think for the animal. And so now you have to think for yourself. So the greatest danger that they say, that means something like a prophecy, that in the future, our people are going to begin to lack the responsibility of knowing, of learning, and applying it in their lives properly. So the greatest danger, they tell us, is something like ignorance. Ignorance is very dangerous to our Diné. And so there is so much to know, and there's so much to understand, and there's so much to be aware of. And ignorance is a choice, and it's a choice that is very dangerous. We have all of the opportunities to learn, and so there's no excuse for the things, for not knowing the things we need to know. But the other thing that they say is that of ignorance, and that of not knowing, or choosing not to know. And then, of course, when the time comes, you don't know how to deal with situations. So the teaching is, ignorance is dangerous. And it is that, what means right before your eyes, these things happen. You have to be able to understand what's going on. And if you choose to be ignorant, you'll ignore those things. And it'll lead you in the wrong direction. That means you must use your power of thinking and planning and then doing. In a way, we are told there's no excuse in not knowing the things that are important that make life. There is absolutely no excuse to avoid the idea of learning things you need to know to how to make your life. And of course, there is no excuse in not knowing what the holy people want you to do. There is absolutely no excuse to avoid and not do what the holy people have told us in the teachings that are preserved in the traditional ways of the Diné. And then you also have to be, on an individual level, you have to be aware. And don't be ignorant to the idea that there are people that are in the world that will lie to you. And they will sound so convincing that they will take and say, okay, I'm going to take their advice and follow them. And it is very important to understand that we cannot be ignorant to those things. And there's no excuse for knowing the dangers, not knowing the dangers of envy, greed, hate, and killing. There is no excuse in not knowing the dangers of those types of behavior. And the idea that there is no excuse for not knowing the past history of our people, the past history of your clan. Ask about it. Learn about it. There's no excuse. And then, of course, the very last thing, and I always remember the old people would say, is that that means that when you have become an adult and you have children and a family, you take care of them. You do not need to be ignorant about the responsibility of being a father or a mother and being a good and doing your very best to be a good father, to be a good mother. That means you do not let yourself become ignorant. And that's going to be the things that you have to be responsible for in your life. So you don't have excuses. You eliminate the excuses and you know how to deal with the things you have to do in making your life. Is the way that they used to tell us. And that is the way that they used to tell us. And those are the things that we are told.
Hey, thanks for watching our videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. Also, head over to our website, NavajoTraditionalTeachings.com. Sign up for our email list. Okay.